Okay, so today is Quiz Day Friday. As I was just saying earlier, your opener is going to be almost identical to your quiz, with the exception you're going to have 4 square root problems instead of 3. So let's take look at the first part of our opener. It's going to be factoring. It says factor each of the following. Then we're going to write our factors in standard form, and then we're going to write our factors in exponential form. So when I say factors, what I'm asking for are what 2 numbers can you multiply together to get 81? So what 2 numbers can you multiply together to get 81, Kyle?
3 and 27.
Okay. How many of you guys use 3 and 27? How many of you guys use 9 and 9? And that's okay. Use 9 and 9. Just make sure your prime numbers end up the same. Okay, Kyle, what kind of number is 3?
I don't know what's called.
Well, what do I do with it, though?
You circle it.
Because it's a prime. That's it. Okay, what about 27?
You can, what do you call it? Like,
Factor it?
yeah, 9 and 3.
Okay.
And then 9 is 2 3s and circle 3 because it's a prime number.
All my 3s, right?
Yeah.
Okay, when you go to write these up in standard form, Kyle, how do you write it? I'm first going to put my equal sign. Then I'm going to put...
3 times 3 times 3 times 3.
And then exponential form, I'm going to put my another equal sign then.
3 to the 4th power.
Perfect. Nice job. Now, those of you that use 9 times 9, did you end up with the same answer?
I'm doing it now.
So the answer should be yes.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
Yeah. If you have a question of why you missed something, put a little star next to it. I'll go over it with you before we turn your opener. Actually, we're not trying openers. Then I already took a grade on them. But I'll explain it to you after the...
You really took that for a grade?
I told you. The first 10 minutes
You
is...
took mine for a grade too?
All right, the next one is 600. What 2 factors can I multiply together to get 600? Now, there's all kinds of factors that you can use here, but what are the 2 factors that you chose to use? Kyle?
24, 25.
2 and 300.
2 and 300, that's a good one. Okay, so 2 is prime, so I'm going to circle it. What are 2 factors that I can use to multiply together to get 300? Jalen?
Oh, I didn't do it like that.
That's okay. But what are 2 numbers that you can multiply together to get 300?
10,
Say again?
10,
Not 10 and 100. How about 10 and 30? Yeah.
Thank you, Jay.
Hey, he helped you out. Okay, Jalen. I only want to hear Jalen's voice. Jalen's not about teamwork today. He wants to be an independent individual. So, what do we got for 10? What can you factor to get 10?
2 and 5.
2 and 5. And what do I do with my 2 and 5?
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, Jaden. Oh my God, whoever you are. Jaden. What can I multiply together to get 30? 10 and 3. What do I do with my 3? And what do I do with my 10? I factor it. What do I do with my 2? And what do I do with my 5? Because they're prime numbers. When I go to write this up in standard form, remember, write them in order from least to greatest, which grading you guys' worksheets, you did a nice job on that. So when I go to write this in standard form, Jair, how would I write it?
2 times 2 times 3.
Nope.
Oh, wait, times 2.
Okay, times 2. That's all right.
This one is times 3. Times 3.
Hold on. Let's
Wait,
look.
wait,
So we have the 2, the 2, the 2, the 3. There we go.
5 and 5.
There you go. That's why I like to kind of cross them out as I go too, because they can get confusing. Exponential form, Danielle. I just didn't hear your last one. Times what? Say again? No, times 5 to the what power?
Oh, to the second.
And then I box it. Good. Did you guys notice there I started writing off really small and it just got bigger and bigger? All right, so this is the front side. Hopefully you guys did pretty good on that. Now let's flip it over and we're going to talk about the square roots. Now, just a reminder, what is the value of each of the following? Be sure to show all work. I know it is so easy for you to type in your calculator the square root of 64 and get the answer 8. But that's not how I want you to show me your work. So how do I want to see your work? What am I going to write? The square root of 64 is equal to what? The square root of 8 squared. Then, the reason why I'm writing that is because I want you guys to know that square and square root, they cancel one another out. Look at that. I took my square and my square root sign and I drew a line through both of them to show that the square cancels the square root. If the square cancels the square root, it means I am just left with an 8. So then when we get to the next one here, I have the square root of 7 squared times 11 squared. Well, what happens with square and square root? What do they do with one another? Yeah, I don't want to just see a little thing like this. You're not showing me that that cancels with anything. I want to see the square and square root canceled. I want to make sure that that line is going through the square and square root. So if I'm getting rid of the square root sign, what am I left with? Which then equals 77. Good.
Oh, so what you was talking about? Because you said...
You have it right. You're fine. That second one, you're all right. Okay, the third one. You can do this in multiple ways. Kyle, I'm going to have you talk... Oh, I thought you had yours done.
No.
Somebody had theirs done. Who had this one finished?
Me?
No, that's not what I wanted.
I got mine finished.
No, that's not what I wanted.
I know.
Yeah, Jalen, talk me through what you did.
So what I did was I put 5 squared times 7.
He actually really truly put this though, you guys. Okay, so 5 squared
Hey,
times
yeah, and
7.
And then you cross out the square. And then you do 5 times 7. And then we shoot 35. And then you cross out.
Good. Another way to do this. You don't have to have it that way. There's multiple ways to do this. Another way that you could do it, how I would show it, is how I'm going to do it in the red here. I'm going to circle my pairs. I'm going to circle my pair of 5s. I'm going to circle my pair of 7s. Pair also means 2, right? 2 means square. Square cancels with what? What does square cancel with? Square root. So if I say 2 pairs squares, square root, they all cancel. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cancel this second 5, because that would be my square with the square root sign. And I'm going to cancel this second 7 with the square root sign. And then I'm still left with then just 1 5 times 1 7, which still equals 35. So either way is acceptable to show your work. Hint, hint. This is on your quiz today. So make sure you show it in one of the 2 ways that I provided up here.
I'm not for the circle.
Okay?
So you want me to circle it?
You can either do it the way that I did in red, or you can do it in the way that I did in pink. Okay? Your call. Either the red version or the pink version. I don't care as long as you show your work in one of the manners. All right.